Oh, did I tell you we have two skunks living under the deck, which is great when we have to bring four dogs outside at night. Hi everybody, welcome to the show. Today is episode 134. We will be planning August projects, which then freaked me out because I went to my, I have my 3-month my 3-month notes of things I want. It's in pencil, so you won't be able to see it. So it says August, September, October, and these are things I want to make for the months. And then I realized when I was doing August and then October is MCal, and I'm like, I have no colors at all for the MCal, and he does not going to tell us the color. This is for Stephen West, the MCal for the shawl MCal, right? So we don't know how many colors it's going to be this year yet, but I have no colors. I have not. That was going to be what I was going to do. I was going to work on my grays and my lavenders and my lilacs and my mauves, and that was how I was going to spend the summer. And I have done none of those things at all. I have not done anything, any of it. I don't know how I'm going to be prepared for the MCal, so I have to figure out what I'm going to do and buckle down and do stuff. My hair is driving me crazy because it's this long now. And I'm trying desperately not to give in to shaving it again because, in the spring, I want it to be ready. I want my hair to just be ready. And I know if I can wait, because that's August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, whatever, 9 months, my hair is going to be fine. And I can wear hats for that up until that time. But right now it's too hot for hats, so I don't know what to do. Sad news. Today is Thursday. Sad news yesterday. In that Sinead O'Connor has apparently died. And I don't think they said how yet, but I have a guess. And I remember watching her when I was young. I'm just wondering if you guys are as bummed, just we lost one of us. Do you know what I mean? I feel like a fellow warrior has fallen in battle. I just feel she's just so there in my past and everything. So obviously, like most people, we knew her from the Prince song that she sang. The first exposure to her was that song. That was beautiful and haunting, and her voice was amazing. And then I heard her on there was a record of Elton John, a tribute to Elton John, a bunch of covers and she did Sacrifice, which, oh my God, it was the most beautiful song I ever heard. With her voice was just so amazing. And then I found her other album, the older album that had the song Troy on it, which is to this day my favorite song of hers. It's one of my favorite songs, especially when I'm in certain moods. I remember her ripping up the picture of the Pope on SNL and then seeing the backlash and seeing them burning her albums. It was this. Remember when the Dixie Chicks came out and were said something about George Bush and they were never heard from again? It was this. They just silenced Sinead, and I think at the time it showed me that they didn't want to hear us. Women specifically. They didn't want to hear what we had to say. They didn't want to, like, it wasn't our place to say anything. And then come to find out all the abuses from the church that I didn't even know about. Of course, I never went to church. I had no reason to know anything about church. So and then she got the bipolar diagnosis, and then she just unraveled through the decades. And I remember seeing that video of her. She was wearing blue, I think, and she was just crying, and oh God, it just hurt me so much. And then her son died last year, and I figured from what happened after that, she was then hospitalized for her mental health, for her mental well-being. And I hadn't heard about her since then, and I was just thinking, it was a little bit ago, and I was like, I wonder if Sinead's okay. I hope she's okay. And then I figured no news was good news, right? If you haven't heard anything, that's what we say in the foster world, no news is good news. So, and then yesterday happened, and I've seen so many people that I know personally that I didn't know were fans of hers come out just as upset as I am. And like, we've lost an icon. We've lost, someone huge to so many of us. And I don't think she knew. I didn't know. It's like we were all, their treatment of her then silenced us to her and separated us, so we could cheer her on from afar, but we could never be outwardly. And now I think we're like, why did we do that? Why didn't we stand up? And because that's what she would have done. Duh. We totally failed her, and I'm mad about it. I'm so mad. I'm mad that being someone who struggles with issues, I can relate to the world in general. If you are not able-bodied and able-minded, it's not even able-minded because her mind is fine. But if you're not, I'm not saying I can't say that either, okay. If you're not neurotypical, how about that? If you're not neurotypical, you're, especially if you're a woman, you're crazy. If you're a man, you're a genius. We all know this. We all know men are geniuses, women are crazy. So I feel like so much of what made her who she was that part of her, of that struggle of trying to be in a world not made for her, which I struggle with every day, living in a world that's not made, this world is not made for me. It is not made for my comfort. It is not made for my abilities. It is not made at all for me to fit into. Oh, that's Rippy. Rippy do. Let's talk about a world not being able to fit us in it. You want to come here and show everyone your scar? Come here. Come here. Yeah, good girl. Come, up, up, up. Oh, is there too many stuff in the way? Come here. Come on, up, up, up. Oh, you're so big. Can you see her scar? Oh, her fur is all cut right here. This is her leg. It's right. It's just out of reach. Can't see it. Can I have a kiss? Can you kiss? Kiss, kiss. Oh, thank you. You're so pretty. This is Rippy Doo. Rippy Doo doll. I love you. You can get down. Thank you, baby. Good girl, Rippy. Rippy's doing great. She just saw the vet because she... The other day, she couldn't control her bladder. Like, she was just laying in here peeing herself and had no idea she was doing it. And we were like, it was also raining, so we were like just finding these puddles, and we're like, sometimes the skylight's leak, and we're like, where's it leaking from? And we're looking, and because that's how you tell if it's leaking. You have to touch it and see if it's wet. And we're like, where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? The dog. We're like, why is she had like a soggy bottom. And we look over, and she just pees. Like she just pees. And she had just been out. She just pees. And she's looking out the window like she doesn't even know she's doing it. She's laying down. It was very strange. So they're treating her for a UTI, even though she didn't have a high level of bacteria in her urine. They're treating her for a UTI. I did not go to the vet for this, because why didn't I go? I probably didn't feel like it. I don't know why I didn't go, but I didn't go. So it's an update on Rippy. And the vet said her leg's healing great, and she's surprised that she has so much use of it because of how much muscle she had to take out, and I was unaware of that. So apparently Rippy is amazing, which I already knew, so it's not a problem. But she's getting away with everything. Everything. But the best news yesterday, I hope you've stayed, because I should have put this in the maybe I'll go back and put this in the beginning. But yesterday, finally, I was taking the littles for a daily walk in the stroller. They go in the stroller, and it's great for me because I have something to hang on to while I'm walking. And I don't have a 6-pound dog hanging from my chest, or like 3 on leashes, which would be terrible. But it's actually a walk for me. It's not for them. It's for me. But bringing them along gives me that stroller to hang on to. And also they love it. They're looking out. They're barking at squirrels and rabbits and people on bikes. It's hilarious. But we were going, and I said, do you think Rippy would want to go? And we showed her a collar, and she started wagging her tail. So we put a collar on her. And she walked right out the door. She walked right out the door. She walked right out the door. And she has been terrified of her collar and leash since Decker died in March. So, July, she walked with us. She walked with us. And then the next morning, yesterday morning, he got up early and took her for a walk before work. I don't know if he took her for a walk today. I didn't ask. But she's doing okay, she's doing okay. And I'm wondering if she had that tumor, and maybe something the tumor was, I don't know, maybe she could feel it, or maybe it was the combination of the tumor and Decker. I don't know. I wish I could ask her. I wish she could tell me. But I'm just so happy that she took a walk. And she went for a walk. She did a short walk the first time. She just did 1 lap. We do 2 laps. I do 2 laps because I don't like to go too far from the house. So I do 1 lap just around our quick neighborhood. And 2 laps is 1 mile. So that's what I do. So she just did 1 lap, which was half a mile. But then he took her in the morning. He took her on their normal, longer, well, not normal because she really has never been a big walker. But he took her a longer walk around the neighborhood. And I feel hopeful. I feel hopeful for her. I feel like it's one less thing that she's terrified of. One less thing to terrify her. Anyway, as I was saying, getting back to Sinead and her untimely death, that I hope we can all remember why we loved her so much and take a piece of her with us. And not forget this time, guys, okay? Be a bit badass, okay? So, this is we've been calling this the top-down rib top, whatever. This is my new version. I'm wearing it. That's what I'm wearing today. All my finished items that you'll see tomorrow or next week. I've decided to name this Sinead, and I'll tell you why. Because, like I was saying before, all of my shawls are named after women who have inspired me. And in order to kind of keep them to like a younger generation, maybe reintroduce them to a younger generation. That's why I do that. And plus, who doesn't want to celebrate women, right? So I couldn't think of a name for this. I was gonna, because I have some for my next thing of shawls that I have stalled on. So I thought Sinead was a good one since of the time. So I've named this Sinead. This will be available free in this size, which is a 35, but I tell you how to switch it up for your size. So also I decided to here's what okay, we're starting. Okay, finished items. I finished this. Now what I did was I shortened the back piece by wrong one. Okay, I shortened the back piece to 56 rows. It was 60, so I took out 4, which just means you join the 3 pieces faster. So there's 4 rows here. This is the back piece. Here's my thing that said 4 rows. Take 4 rows out. So you start up here, you cast on here. I cast on with my backwards loop 50, I don't know. I'll release this and then I'll tell you all about it. So you start here with the cast on with your stitches. Come down here. Then you just leave them on the needle. I just left them on the needle or put them on another needle. And then you come up to here, your cast on edge, and you work it from here. So you work the right front first, because the right front is not the right front you work until you get 80 rounds. No, the 56 rounds, right? And then you pick up here on the left front and you work to the, 56 rounds. I'm just all bad at this. 56 rounds. Then on your next round, starting with this side, left front. After the 56th round, you join them all. So you will do your normal increase here, come around. Now you do cast on 2 stitches under the arm, join the back. Join the back piece, add on 2 stitches under the arm, and then join the front piece. And then you do another increase. So your increases are at the end and the beginning. And then you go that way from 57 back and forth until 80. So then on 80, you come back around. So on row 81 is when you're going to do the crossover part on row 81. And then after that, it's just straight down in the ribbing, straight down ribbing. I still have all my markings in mine. I mark every 10 rows, 10 rounds, 10 rows, whatever I'm at. So I know where I'm doing. Now this has been blocked. I'm going to stand up and show it to you. Because I think this is, now I finished it the night before last, so it blocked that night. Then I wore it all day yesterday. I slept in it last night, and I'm still wearing it, trying to see if I need to make any changes anywhere, if anything is not fitting or anything. But so these are all my stitch markers to show me where I am along the way. But I'm going to show it to you right now. Ugh, if I could stand up. So this is the crossover goes wider than the other one. And just how you see this one crossover is the crossover is happening under it in the opposite way. And you see my armholes are better. They're not as long and they're in line with the cropped top that I'm wearing underneath. They were. It would be better because I'm wearing a cotton crop top, which I shouldn't be, with a cotton overtop, and what I should be wearing is a cropped wool or wool blend underneath, because then that's going to be more grippy to my body and more grippy to the cotton and will probably show less. But I did get this to cover the cropped under the arms. So the only problem that I ran into is I made it 100 rounds from the crossover. I did 100 rounds, and really I can get away with 80. So I'm going to drop 20 rounds from the end because it's too long. So far, the fit's perfect. It got rid of this giant underarm thing that I was wanting. It showed too much of the underbra thing, and I didn't like that. For the cross part, I went from 12 to 20 stitches. So we doubled, we'll work together. 20 stitches this time instead of the 12 that we did for this one, which left it a little too open when I'm wearing it. Now it's not so open. It really can't fly open. It can open so you can put it on, but then when it's down and you're wearing it, I slept in it last night, didn't fall out. Okay. I did fall out of the other one. This one did not fall out. I can't remember if I changed. No. Okay. All I did was make it longer. More. Okay. So, I want to wear this for a couple more days and see if anything else needs changed. Like, I want to make sure it stays. I'm gonna put a wool cropped underneath and see if that grips it a little bit more and helps, because the two cotton is absolutely zero support. I'm just like hanging here, which is fine, not a problem, but I feel like it's the cotton on cotton is too much for this. So I think I have it worked out. I'm going to probably, I don't know how much longer I want to wear it, because to do this, I have to frog back to the very first back piece, which means everything else. Well, no, these don't have to be, like, I have to get them to be 3 pieces again, and then get rid of 4, get rid of 4, get rid of 4, and then I got to see how I did these increases because I think these increases are wrong because I had to redo the increases for this. Anyway, so far the fit is great. It's coming down right under bust, which is where I wanted it. The back, what do you call it? Comes down a little bit, sags down a little bit, which I hate for sweaters, but this is a summer top, so I don't care. Also, what I said last week, I totally lied because I'm not going to redo this in wool. What was I thinking? This is a summer top. It needs to be cotton. So I think if you wanted to redo it in a wool cotton blend, maybe. I did order some stuff from Webb's, but it's not here yet. It'll be here next week. So I'm going to go through what I got because I don't recall. I know there's cottons because I want to see which one of those I wanted to make into a top. But for right now, I'm going to rip this back. Rip all of this back to redo. Which was scary because my cropped one that I'm wearing is made out of leftovers, but I have enough leftovers because this was like 170, I think, 171, something like that. 170 grams. I don't know what the yardage is because the yardage of this is 233, right? 233 that we used as a worsted because 233 is worsted. Give me a break. 266 is DK, okay? So stop it right now. So my next thing is to rip this back and redo it to these specs, which is fine. We have 4 days left of the month, so I don't think I'm gonna have this done in 4 days. I'll try, but I don't think that's possible. So that is my plan for Sinead, and then as I'm doing this one, I will write it down and put it up on the website. So next month, we'll have a release next month for her. What do you think of the name? You think it's okay? Okay, so what else is... Oh, I finished my cropped... This cropped one is a cropped version of this. It took me... I had a full thing of like 62 something grams. So I just used that whole thing. And I used up the whole thing and I didn't get enough of the ribbing. I mean, it's enough, but it wasn't my whatever 28 or something that I usually get. So I didn't get enough. So I have another 62 something. Now the difference in between the yardage in this one and the yardage is this one is about 6 grams. So it's negligent. You're still going to be able to get one out of two skeins. So it's only 6 grams more. Yeah, 171.33 was the old one, and the new one is 177.73. So, like 6 grams, 6-something grams. I think that's all I have to say about this. I will go over way more about it when I release it. I think next month. Or should I wait till next year? Let's do next month. We'll just do next month. But I am going to leave it in the cotton. I'm going to leave it in the cotton. Again, not sure how I'm going to do the gauge thing if you watch my live on Instagram Friday. So sorry I didn't have an episode for you, but I did give you a live. I then put it up on Insta where I rant about gauge and how much I hate it. And how it means nothing. So anyway, that's my new Sinead top. Okay, so that's the finished and the cropped. I told you the cropped used about 60 grams. So that's going to bring me into my whip. well, I guess, well, I just showed you my other whip is the green one I got to frog back and do. So what I'm working on right now is the leftover of this one's getting a cropped top, okay? Because I love to sleep in these. And remember, I lost the alpaca cotton blends. Remember those? I lost 5 cottons, so I need to make up 5 more so I can sleep in them. So here's my plan. I'm using up the leftovers. I have 20 something grams left over here, and I also have a full 100 grams. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to make this full, not full length, but the full crop that has the total amount of ribbing that I like. I can't remember if it's like 30 rounds of ribbing. I have it written down somewhere. So as I'm doing that, I'm keeping track of all of my weights for each part of it. Okay, so the first section, because this is a section, and then you cut it, and then you start here, and you work the whole triangle, and then you join them together, and then you work straight here, and then you add on the back, and then you finish this part, and then you do so much ribbing, and that's the cropped version. It's very, very easy. So my next measurement is to measure right here before you start the ribbing, and then I'll measure the ribbing and the bind off both separately. So my plan is, because I can only make one of these with what I will have left, what I want to do is stripe them. So I'm going to start with, like, my first one's going to be mint green here, mint green here to the join. Then once we join them together like this, but before we've put the back on, we're going to start striping. So it's going to be like a fade, a striped fade kind of. So we're going to do whatever much of this. See where they join. So that's a little bit. So we're going to start with the green, the mint green. Once we join, we'll probably join in green and come back. And then, because it's a 2, we'll do two round stripes, because it's back and forth until we join. So we'll do 2. Actually, I have to count because I think we go to 30. I'll figure it out. Anyway, then what we'll do is we'll stripe the green and the gray to the ribbing. Then the ribbing will be gray. So you'll start green, stripe, 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 end with gray. I thought that would be cute. And since I have a whole bunch of these to do with a whole bunch of leftovers, that means I'll get one of these tops in a color. I will get a cropped DK top in the color, and then I will get a cropped DK top that is striped, faded striped between 2 colors. And I've already chosen the colors. This is going to be mint and gray. So it'll go from mint to gray, which I think is going to be cute. Anyway, that's how I decided to use up those leftovers, because I have 300 grams and I'm only using 177, like 178. Okay, so I have all that left over. That's my whip right now, because I am not ready to start on the mint one yet, but I am going to pull it back and get it ready to be started on, which is what's in here. Oh, don't forget, Fat Squirrel announced her thing August. It's in my phone, but my phone can't get close to the microphone, remember? August 1st, 9 p.m. Eastern. Fat Squirrel Fiber. FatSquirrelFibers.com, 9 o'clock. She had a show somewhere, and I was looking at all the bags. I'm like, why are those not up on the website? I'll buy like 5 of those right now. Not 5, but I'd like a size bigger than this one. So here we see I've already started this, so we're going to get to rip this back a little bit. So this is basically the part that will be green, and then we'll start with the gray in here. But I have this much and this much, and it looks like I'm only going to need 6 to add on, so we'll be fine. But I didn't want to finish this because that was going to be this, and I was like, no. I'm actually hoping I'll have a little bit more so I can finish this one too, because this one's short a couple rows in the ribbing. Anyway, that's where I'm at with that. So I will have the Sinead top, and you know, I'd like to name my DK and worsted tops too. I feel like one of those is going to be Elizabeth, because I don't think I have an Elizabeth yet. And I've been feeling Elizabeth. I saw her on a program the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I still love you so much. So, but then also there are 2 men. There are 2 men. There are also Matthew and David. And I don't know where to put that. Do you think I should make Matthew and David my camisole names? That feels like, but does it matter? I don't think it matters. Maybe I'll name them. One will be worsted, one will be DK. Matthew and David. My brother's gonna think it's for him, and it's not for him. I got bit by bugs the other day, like insane, and they usually leave me alone, so I don't know what happens. I don't know what's going on. Okay, what are we talking about? We haven't even gotten to our thing. I'm not even there yet. Squishy mail. Let's do squishy mail because it works into what we're gonna do this month. So squishy mail. I did get Cascade 220 from, I don't know, Webs maybe? I don't know where I got this. Webs or Lovecrafts, because that's usually where I go. So this is the what color? I'll give you the number because they never give you the name. 9572. It is a wine. I'm not sure if it's their burgundy or their wine. They don't, I mean, they say on the website, but then when you've got it, they don't actually tell you. I already have a top in this color, and it looks exactly the same. Like, it looks like I could just keep going with it. You can't even tell there's a different dye lot. This was going to be one of these, but now it's not. I also got this purple. That is 9570. And remember, these are Peruvian Highland. These are not Merino. I love this purple. Very, very royal purple. Just a very purple. Not blue, not red. It is purple, purple. Purple, purple. Love it. So, that's what I for like $11. I don't even know. When I buy Cascade, I don't bother because I know it's not $30. So whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So that was from Webs, I'm pretty sure. That's all I got. So that goes right into next month. So shall we go with planning August? So there is one for sure thing I want to do. And I have it as the ballet wrap top. It's a by 2 of 1s, I think. Alexandra Tavel. It's free on Ravelry on her website, and then you can buy an ad-free version for like $7.50, I think. The reason I'm going with this is because her what do you call it? Her gauge is the same as mine, because hers is 20 by 27 and mine is 20 by 30, which is like the closest I'm ever gonna get. So However, yesterday I did decide I'm not doing a wrap top. I'm just going to do a v-neck. I'm going to do a v-neck because I did a wrap here. Let's just do a v-neck. So really all I'm using of her pattern is the numbers. Hopefully it works because I do like the finishing on that v-neck, as I don't like to pick up stitches afterwards, so I don't want to have to pick up the stitches around a v-neck and do anything. So I wanted to do the purple, but I already have one of these unwound, so I might just do it in this. Make one in this and one in this. Because one I'm going to have to do and see if it works. And then if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to, because I don't like to rip this one up. I like to have one that's close so I still have something to look at and to have as a reference while I'm remaking it, fixing all the flaws. So it doesn't matter. They're both going to be made up to be the same thing. So it's fine. So that's my plan. And then I could always order more if I want to make them longer sweaters. I do have 4 skeins of this in the same color that I'm hoping I can use for a full sweater. We're going to have to see how much this 2 gets us. So that is for next month, the ballet wrap sweater that we're turning into a v-neck. I'm just using it because she has the same gauge, and I'm going to use her numbers, and it's stuck in that, what do you call it? The raglan sleeves. We're going to try to get that to fit me finally. And if we do, I've got like 8 sweater quantities of yarn in the similar weights ready for sweaters. But you know me, I have to have that open neckline. So I'm also trying to figure out how far I want, like from the elbow to, do I want do I want it farther than the joining of the underarms? Do I want to keep going with the open? I don't know. It doesn't matter because I'm always going to have one of these on underneath, so it does not matter. And I like that little pop color anyway. And if I'm cold, I'll put a cowl or a shawl on. So that's my style. So I think I'm going to start with the burgundy, and then we'll probably finish up with the purple. And then just buy more if we want to. The other thing is that we're going to be making some more Sineads, and I brought the other colors I have. So these are the other colors I have for the Sinead. I have pink and purple and blue and turquoise. So these are how I'm going to do the faded. Remember I said we're doing mint and gray. So this is going to be turquoise and blue. Pink and purple. They'll go this way. Pink to purple, turquoise to blue. That'll be our stripe fade. I'm going to call it a stripe fade. Stripe fade. So I will get a top in each one of these colors. I just can't decide which color. I'm kind of leaning towards this turquoise. The pink's a little bright, but I do wear a lot of pink, so it has to be a staple in my wardrobe. I love purple. Blue I'm not a huge fan of, but it is dark. So I feel like I kind of have to like it. So I'm leaning towards the turquoise since it's August and it's still nice out. And then the other 3 we can do at my leisure because pretty soon it's going to be warm weather, and then I can do these while we're gearing up for the warm weather and I can get all excited about it, right? So that's the second thing we're going to do. We're going to do the ballet wrap sweater, turn it into a v-neck, do probably the turquoise one of this. Unless you think the pink, what do you think? I think turquoise. The last thing we're going to do for August is we're going to do some dyeing because, like I said, the MCAL's coming up, and I have not done any dyeing this year. I've not done anything to get myself ready for an idea of a color palette when he tells us how many colors we need. In October, I'm unprepared, wildly unprepared. This is the story of my life. So, we have this that we made a couple months ago, last month, I don't know. This is some leftovers that did not get felted of, this was tiger lily, and it is color I don't wear because it does not go with my skin tone whatsoever. Did you see that picture of Megan Fox in that see-through orange, like tiger looking? She looks gorgeous, and I'm like, why can't I pull off orange like that? I just can't. It's not for me. So I made this up. This, before we do it, I have these two left. The same thing. And like I said, I'm going to have to go rewatch whatever video that was because I forgot what I said I was going to do. But I need to take 1 gram of each one of these, 1 gram, which is going to be fine because I have even if I make a full length crop. This is with the 30, this is full length with the 30 rounds of ribbing, and a full length top. If I made both of these, out of these two, I still have leftovers because the yardage is ridiculous. The yardage is, where's the yardage? 274 yards. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I have so much left over every time. So it's great, like when I had to make repairs, when I made the straps too short, I had to add some, I just replaced like all the straps on all of them. Okay, so I'm going to take 1 gram of this color, 1 gram of this color, 1 gram of this color. Then I'm going to separately try to dye them black because they have cotton in them. It's merino, alpaca, and cotton. And like I said, I don't know which part of the cotton is not going to take the dye. How much cotton? 32% cotton. So this is going to be interesting because we got to get some math going because I'm going to do 5% minus 32% weight of fiber. Okay. And, well, these are going to be done in my I have a little vegetable steamer, which is what I do my little swatches on, my color swatches on. I could literally do that. It doesn't take me any time. I'm going to try to do it this weekend. Maybe tomorrow if I'm feeling it. I don't know. So that we can then either do all of these or, like, I don't even want to take the skeins out. I just want to undo one of them and just cut 1 gram off because I wanted to see which one is gonna let me do it, because the other colors I like, this color I hate, so these ones are I think the yellow, I like yellow as a rule, but I feel like this is too, like, do you see the difference in these yellows? Love this yellow, absolutely love it. This yellow, a little too much. There's a difference in yellows. Even this is it's a little bit more butter than baby duck. You know what I mean? I like a really, really pale baby. What's the word? Not neutral. Pastel. I like a pastel yellow, and this is more of like a butter. But it's not, this is like daffodil. This is called daffodil. It is bright. So, and this I think is too much coral color for me. Too peachy. Because I'm not a warm colored girl. And this just, no. So I have to see how all 3 of these colors are going to take the dye. I'm not worried about the fiber. I'm worried about the cotton fiber and what that's going to look like when I try to over dye the protein fibers and what's going to happen. So I'm going to have 3 different swatches. So I'll show you those swatches, and then this will just get over dyed the way it is. And these, I will probably dye them because I have 2 of each. I will just probably put them in the oven so I don't overcook them. This is going to get cooked in the oven. These are going to get cooked in the oven. I will probably, it's easier to dye it in a hank than in the finished object because this has more opportunities for resist in all of this ribbing. And this I-cord, lots of resist options. So opportunities. Resist opportunities. So I'd really like to do that this week. I'm hoping I will do that this week. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Okay. So have I talked to you about everything? Let me see. Universal Yards, Cascade, MCal, Okay, the only thing I haven't told you yet is that one of my local not so local yarn stores, my favorite one, River Color Studio. It's my favorite, but it's the farthest away. So they are having their 20th anniversary, which is a big deal if you've known any local yarn store that's been able to stay in business at all, let alone 20 years. But they're the most amazing store in the area. They have the largest selection. They've got so many different fibers, like you've got yarn made with banana, yarn made out of milk proteins, like just a lot of cool stuff. And they have an entire wall of Malabrigo, which I don't use anymore. That used to be why I would go there, was the giant yarn wall of Malabrigo that I have no interest in. No, never, thanks, bye. So I'm hoping to make it there Saturday, but you know how I am. And then I'm going to be worried leaving all the dogs home alone, and that'll cut into if I'm having a good time or not. You know, it's just me being stupid. That's all. It's me being dumb. That's it. Because I should be able to leave my house for an afternoon and go to a yarn store and not worry about any. It's stupid. The dogs are perfectly fine by themselves. It's not even a problem. It's not like they've never been home alone before. See, and then I say home alone, and what do I think? Kevin, right? And then you're like, no, they're never being left home alone again ever, because Joe Pesci is going to come in, and you know, and then it just spirals. Anyway, next week, I love how I'm wearing this with all my stitch markers, and I don't care. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not letting any of them go this time. No. I'm really excited that I'm taking, so for the crop tops I'm doing, that I'm planning to stripe, every little part, I'm taking the weight of every little part so I can know how much I'm going to need of each color to do the stripe fade. So excited to do that. I don't know why. That seems kind of dumb to be something excited about, but that's what I'm excited about. Next week, I will have to be here. Next week is July finished objects. So we'll see how many things I've got finished. I'm pretty sure I finished. I don't know. I know I've finished 2 things, but I think I finished more maybe. I don't know. So anyway, not sure. Okay, that is the end of my knitting content. If you want a health update, this is hilarious. So in April, they took an ultrasound of my gallbladder and found polyps, which is not a big deal from what I understand. They're not stones, it's just polyps. And I've had them for a while. I don't know if there's been any change. Because I don't have the other ones. So I don't even have a thing about it. Like I have absolutely not. They didn't give me anything about it. So, like, they called me up and said, you have polyps, you don't have to do anything about it, that's fine. And that was it. Like, I didn't get a paper, said anything. Like, I love this My Chart thing or My Health or whatever, because now you get the results. It's a document of your results, so you get to know, like, that tumor in my sinus, I know how big it is. So if I have another scan and it's changed, I will know because I have it, which I love, being that empowered of having my medical records, access to my own freaking medical records. Why is that not I don't know why that should be norm. That should be the norm. I don't know why it's not. Anyway, since I already know that polyps are not a big deal, but she asked if I wanted to see some about it, and I said yes. So she referred me to a guy that was surprised that I had been to see so many doctors about my swallowing problems. And I literally went there, seriously, I went there so the guy could be like, yeah, this has nothing to do with your esophagus stuff. Why are you here? And I'd be like, oh, polyps. And he's like, what brought you here? And I'm like, they said I have polyps. So I'm like, this is the only test that gave me a definitive something that wasn't negative. It wasn't like negative, there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing here. This is the only thing I've seen. This is the only test that has come back with something. And I'm like, I just want to rule it out that this is not causing, any of my problems. And I'll go back to the gastros, and that have been doing nothing for me for 5 years. And I'm like, I don't know where else to go. The ENT didn't want anything to do with me. I'm just trying to find, I'm like, it's been 5 years, I'm tired. I want to be able to, I want to not have this pain in my esophagus. And this guy was so thorough, and all I wanted was him to go, there's no way this is your gallbladder. Go home. And he was like, it absolutely could be your gallbladder. And I'm like, no. Because you know what happens if it's my gallbladder? Do you know what happens then? Laparoscopic surgery to remove my gallbladder is what happens. And I just had surgery in February. I'm not having surgery again. No. No, thank you very much. So I guess his biggest thing is my nausea, because I'm nauseated all the time, every day. All the time. I'm nauseated right now. 24/7. And I guess that was his big clue. So I have to go get this imaging thing where some radioactive stuff, and then they watch how it works and where the bile ends up, and whatever. It can take 1 to 4 hours. And sometimes you have to come back the next day. And I'm like, this sounds terrible. However, it doesn't sound necessarily painful. So it's not like that swallow test I couldn't do. So I think I just talked myself into doing it. I want to rule it out. I want to rule it out so bad. But here's the kicker, though. If it is my gallbladder and it needs to be removed, do you know what? That's the actual easiest outcome of all of this. Because it's one surgery and then I'm done. And it's an easy surgery with low risk. It's laparoscopic surgery, low risk. They just remove my gallbladder, that's all. Which is like, they remove my uterus. I'm like, okay, I can get on board with this. It's going to be even easier than that one, which was pretty okay. And if it gets rid of all of this, or even one of them, great. He also thinks it could be causing my IBS, that I don't actually have IBS, but that I have slow moving, I don't remember what he said. And I'm like, well, if it could rule out 1 or 2 of my things, and one of those, they're both chronic at this point, I probably should just do it. The other problem is, if it's anything else, that he can still diagnose because he knows these things. So I don't have to go to that swallow specialist place. I can just go to him. He's a bariatric surgeon, so he does all of these surgeries around the stomach and esophagus. So he does all this. He said there are medications and there's also other surgeries, depending on what my problem is. But this is the easiest. So if it is my gallbladder, it's the easiest. If it's not my gallbladder, then we can try medications. This test will tell him either if my stuff's going too slow or too fast. And we can address that along with addressing the esophagus. He says there are other tests we could do that would be less than that thing. But it would still requiring me to eat like something radioactive, I think. And then I'm not sure. He said something. He said like he said like a cookie or something that I would eat, and then they could see what was going on. But I wouldn't have to put that thing down my throat. I think I just talked myself into having that thing. I just don't want to do it, is my thing. I don't want to do it. But my MRI wasn't that bad because they put me to the very end of the MRI, and the MRI was open at the end. So I could see like this little bit of like ceiling and light up here. So if I was laying there and if I looked back, I could see some light of the ceiling. So I wasn't totally just in the tube because it's scary. But this is not an MRI. It's like a CT scan, I think, which the CT scan just goes to where you are. And the one there it looks like the Stargate. It's a very big flat thing. So I feel like the Stargate would come up to wherever, But then the rest of the room is open. So I don't think I'd have a problem with the test itself other than how long it takes. It's taking an hour to 4 hours. What am I going to do? Can I knit? Can I knit while I'm there? I don't think so. I'll have to ask. What do I do for the 4 hours? Do I cry? Like, you're not supposed to move, so I'm not sure what I do with those 4 hours. Cry? Maybe I'm lucky mine will be done in one, but I bet you it's not. I bet you they're going to be like, oh, we're going to need you to come back first thing in the morning. Can you be here at like 7? I'll see you next week for finished objects for July. See how many of those there are. I don't even know. I know there's at least 2. Okay. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.